My name's Cole.
And my name's Lisa.
And this is our digital story.
We are reflecting on our seminars, lectures, and readings in
#ECS210
with Katia. We're going to begin by talking about what we know and felt at the beginning of the term. When we were asked to discuss curriculum at the start of the semester, we had a general understanding of the mandated curriculum and the hidden curriculum. Furthermore, we knew the definition at a basic level. For example, at the beginning of the semester, we had believed curriculum to be a mandated guide consisting of course material and requirements to work as a goal for the course.
Now we know the curriculum as a whole. We are continuously learning, and as educators, we will continue to do so in our journeys. As part of this, we believe that once you stop trying to make connections and further your learnings, you are setting yourself up for failure. We are lifelong learners.
When we reflect on this, we understand that the hidden curriculum is about students learning things in school that are not part of the formal or explicit curricula. The hidden curriculum is often seen as a negative, but can be positive.
Secondly, we turned to our blogs to reflect on some thoughts and responses that we had on our reading throughout the year. The most prevalent theme that carried through our blog entries was Kimishiro's ideology on common sense. Kimishiro says that we hold specific common senses based on where we live. So as educators, it is crucial that we don't assume that our common senses are the same as someone else's. We should question our ideas of common sense because sometimes our common sense simply does not make sense, because it varies in different cultures and is viewed differently based on our society. For example, in other cultures, students are not required to ask permission to go use the washroom or get a drink, whereas here, that's something that we've become accustomed to. I believe that we have to question ourselves and what we believe to be common sense.
We both really enjoyed the new teacher handbook. We thought it was a really good resource, and we both found favorite stories in it. For example, my favorite story is Teaching in the Undertone. It brought up different issues that we'll face in our future classrooms. It created a sense of fear for the challenges that lay ahead in my career. I found reading this really beneficial because it gave me strategies and showed me that I'm not alone in this situation. Over my years as a pre-service teacher, I've heard many stories about teachers dropping out in the first couple years, so it makes me feel good knowing that I'm not the only one and that there are ways for me to avoid this.
Also a part of ECS 210, Heather's Mums Got Married had the biggest impact on me. I personally experienced a gay student face struggles in high school because he came out to be gay. As a teacher, I believe it's important to provide a safe environment for GLBT and other minority groups that may be present in the classroom. Along with this, I want to provide support for those students, so if they need someone to talk to, I can make myself available for them to come to. When we addressed treaty education, when Claire came in specifically, I think a lot of great things were raised. So when she came in, some things I took from it is I want to incorporate treaty education into several different subjects. So I liked how she had the kids and they had them doing their own technology, and I think the kids became very engaged in doing so.
I liked Claire's idea to incorporate the technology as well into her treaty education because it put a new spin on the material being taught. Treaty education can become boring to students because they learn a little bit every year. So I found that by adding technology and letting them work together and show their engagement, allowed them to learn through experiential learning, which was more beneficial to them.
I never thought about incorporating treaty education into unit plans outside of Native Studies class. Now I see ways that I can work it into other subjects, as we did in our lesson plan about bullying. Sort of like killing two birds with one stone. I thought the common sense lessons were interesting. They changed my way of thinking in several different ways. I'm starting to question things that we consider common sense. Kimishiro talks about the struggles of bringing common sense with you to other places and attempting to enforce those beliefs. Common sense varies upon cultures, thus we need to question it and be aware in contrast to our other common senses.
When I reflect upon this last semester, what really resonates with me in #ECS210 is Kimishiro's messages about always working towards an anti-oppressive education system. I found it easy to connect these views with what I learned about common sense, once I came to understand that common sense is what needs to be examined and challenged in the classroom. What I have taken from this is that once I stop trying to create a safe environment through questioning what is common sense, I'll lose the battle against anti-oppressive education.
What I considered, I guess, as my bumps in the road in this class, I hadn't had any experiences making a lesson plan prior to class, so when we were asked to do so, I felt somewhat clueless. It was a scary feeling, you know, you're making a lesson plan for a group of students, and that whole idea it's kind of frightening. So in our group, there was only one person that had experience doing so. I thought it was challenging at first, but it was very neat to go through that experience with other new and upcoming teachers, because we all got to learn together. So it ended up being a really fun, I guess, journey. Another challenging thing for me was using Twitter. I had a Twitter account previously. I just had not used it in very, I guess, educational manners. And even when I tried, I did find it difficult, because there was only 140 characters to express my thoughts. And so when I did attempt in class, I felt like I had a hard time getting across my point, or how I actually felt. And I found myself adjusting to these characters, trying to fit what I could in. But in the end, I feel like even some things I posted, that wasn't even quite what I was trying to say. However, within saying that, I understand that there's links that you can put into your Twitter account, and that can be beneficial. That's something that I'll just have to expand on in the future. Within saying that, I was a big fan of the blogs. I actually, when I sat down to blog, I had fun doing it, and outside of even what we were required to do, I often or sometimes posted things that just were on my mind, or something that I had been experiencing. So I really liked blogging. It was super cool to go on and look at other people's and see what they're doing, what are they thinking, and you kind of expand your learning by simply going and you're looking at other people's thoughts, essentially.
My biggest struggle in this class was learning how to use Twitter. I really wasn't familiar with Twitter. I had some friends using it, but never had any personal interest in using it myself. I made an account for this class and started following some of the classmates. I was really unsure how to use it, did not like it, didn't participate in the lectures, and then I learned that you can do the hashtag ECS210, and that made things a bit easier, being able to follow everyone else's comments throughout the lectures, and then even things I missed while taking notes, I'd find through people's tweets. So I found that really helpful. Probably my most success came during class when we had Bonnie from Anti-Poverty come in. A lot of things that she said about her having dyslexia really resonated with me, so I found it really helpful for me to keep tweeting throughout the thing, my different thoughts, see other people's thoughts, and since then I have been working on my tweeting, doing it a little bit more often, and like Cole said, like using links. That's something I really didn't know about. I've seen people, but just learning the different way, kind of the tweeting way of doing things is something I'm working on in order to build up my community of learners. I definitely liked the blogs, going on and seeing other people's blogs, seeing different people's formats, what they had to say. I liked tweeting about like the Cowboys and Indians thing. It was kind of fun to like put my say out there in my own little world. So I liked that a lot.
And that pretty well does it for our presentation. Thank you very much for listening. Hashtag ECS210. Woo!